The digital revolution has made travel easier, faster, and cheaper. Your smartphone or laptop serve as your digital passport to access any place in the world. In the digital age, we've become a generation of DIY travelers who plan, manage, and book travel online. That's what we call Insta-travel. Generations ago, traveling the world was a thrilling new possibility for those with the resources, time, imagination, and daring. Planning a vacation often meant consulting with a travel agent. Going outside the country was especially expensive, time-consuming, and very challenging.
During my time, if you're gonna go to Europe, the flights then, it's no direct flights in the 50s and the 60s. You have to go via different stops before you reach Paris or Madrid. No online booking. Everything is done traditionally. Ticketing, it has to be manually done. When you check in at the airport, everything is also manually done.
Today, in the digital age, more people are traveling than ever before. Travelers can book their own flight and hotels online, through airline websites, or booking sites like cheapoair.com, Trivago, Agoda, or Booking.com. I'm with part of the Digipinoy team. This is Gio and Joy, and we're looking at how people make their travel choices these days. Gio, ikaw muna. Big family kayo, no? How do you plan your travels?
Ours is kind of a mix of traditional and the new media. My mom, she talks to travel agents, she talks to her friends who have been to wherever we're going. And then my sister, she's the one who looks online, plans everything out through looking at TripAdvisor and looking at mga websites and travel bloggers that she follows. Usually she looks through Instagram and she's like looking at pictures na parang if it's in Japan and she sees like, oh, ang ganda ng picture ng cherry blossom na to, punta tayo dito. It's that kind of mix of the old and the new.
Sa amin naman, lagi namin kinoconsider kung gaano kalayo, tsaka kung comfortable ba for the kids. Plus, may aso pa kami, so I have to consider kung pet-friendly ba yung location.
Planning trips today involves doing your own research online. Technology has given us more information on destinations than ever before. Many even plan their trips according to photos they intend to take and post on social media.
A lot of it is like, oh, anong magandang pang picture, anong magandang pang post on Facebook or Instagram. And it's also important for us is food. So we also like to check mga food review sites.
Hindi ka familiar sa place, iwis na kagad habang bago pa umalis ng bahay. O gaano katagal yung travel? Traffic ba sa ganito? Meron ba tayong pwedeng ibang daanan pa? So kumbaga, ngayon, mas madali na kasi madali nang iayos yung itinerary mo eh.
According to the Department of Tourism, there's been a significant rise in tourists in the country because of online promotions.
And we know this, that the most powerful social media app now for tourism is Instagram. We brought the Miss Universe to Siargao, we brought them to Davao, we brought them to Cebu, we brought them to Baguio. Recently, the new winners, we brought them to Camiguin. And it works. Because the followers of these candidates are hundreds of thousands. And when you post an Instagram photo of the destination, can you imagine the effect of that? We're also working with TripAdvisor. We're talking to both Facebook and Google. All these are meant to put the Philippines at the top of mind of the world tourist boom that's happening. And we've seen it, and we're happy to report that in 2017, we had an 11% increase. We had foreign visitors reaching 6.6 million in 2017.
Travel bloggers are also a huge boost to tourism.
Hi, my name is Anton Diaz of Our Awesome Planet, the #1 food and travel blog in the Philippines.
Anton began blogging in 2005 to document his family's travel and food adventures for his children. In 2008, he quit his corporate job to become a full-time online media entrepreneur. How much do you think things have changed from traditional travel back then to now that we're in the digital age? Because everything is online.
The domestic travel here really changed a lot because of travel blogging and Cebu Pacific. When they opened the promos and the online, that changed the entire scene, at least on a local scale. And then more people were blogging about, hey, this is how to go to this place, and then with Instagram coming in and Facebook. So that really blew the entire space. And then in the international scene, before it's really dominated by travel agencies, group tours. But there's a segment which is what you call free independent travelers that was empowered by online. So these are the people who wants to go to book their flights on their own and to book their hotel.
Anton's favorite travel apps and digital tools?
Usually the Google Translate, Google Maps, and then you have the City Mapper for the travel, and then you have XE for the exchange rate, for the currency exchange rate. So after you book all your things, you look for recommendations now from locals. So we get that from different sources, from travel bloggers. So there's a whole travel blogging industry actually.
Yeah, it's really daunting because now there's so much information.
There's so much information.
Such digital tools are encouraging younger people to explore sooner and in a more cost-effective way. Anton's main audience started out as Gen Xers and eventually expanded to millennials. This year, Anton is focusing on the Z generation, those born after the year 2000.
Their #1 website is YouTube.
Our Awesome Planet started in 2005 as a love letter to our sons. When my first son Aidan was born, I was inspired to document the story of their childhood.
And then I started to do a video. Yon every time. So we would have a premiere, they want to watch it again. And at the same time, with their friends, parang, oh, my dad has a YouTube channel.
So yan yung
Credit sa
language
kanila.
to
Yan
speak
language
to these young ones.
Yeah.
As technology advances and more digital tools become available, travel will be within easier reach. The digital era is inspiring a generation to plan, to share ideas, and explore the world in a way never before imagined. Who doesn't like traveling, exploring a new city, and making new discoveries? But planning your trip and navigating a foreign place can be a pain. But it's 2018 and you have all the digital tools to make your vacation a breeze. In this episode, we get some travel tips and tricks from the experts, and we check out how technology has changed the world of travel. With the rise of social media, traveling has become a shared experience. With an Instagram picture here and a Facebook post there, sharing your adventures has become the norm. Whether it's a hashtag epic time or even a horrible one, more often than not, it'll appear on the internet. And the terrible vacation is what inspired travel bloggers Yoshke Demon and Vince Carlos to start their website, The Poor Traveler.
Before, we just really wanted to document our travels. Kapag nagta-travel kami, something always happens. So the first time na nag-travel kami together na gastos namin, it was in an island in the south. We know the feeling na meron kang enough budget na kapag nag-overspend ka, even a little bit, your itinerary is ruined. What happened was, we booked a resort beforehand and then they completely forgot about us.
So nandun kami 1:30 p.m. hanggang 4:30 p.m. nandun kami.
Nag-give up na lang.
Wala na, balik na tayo sa mainland. At practically nisira yung
Plan namin. That's how we decided na, you know what, we should write more about our trips so our readers won't make the same mistakes that we do.
The Poor Traveler is an online budget travel guide that shares the good, the bad, and the ugly of traveling. From the best deals to the most cautionary of tales, Yosh and Vince are on top of it.
We thought that it was a good idea to just write about the misadventures. Kasi the second trip naman, we were in Zambales and yung boat namin nasiraan ng engine. So we were floating aimlessly for over an hour, and then when finally gumana na yung boat, bumangga kami sa isang rock islet. That's why it's The Poor Traveler. It's not just about the budget, it's also about being so
yung experience na parang
unfortunate. When we're traveling, we're online all the time. We were asked before, if there's only one tool that you could use during travel, what would it be? And I said without hesitation, it's my phone. I needed to plan my trips, I needed to navigate, to find whatever establishment I need to find, and I need it for recommendations from friends. So I use it all the time.
Yosh and Vince's passports are well used, having traveled all over the world. They've got almost 1 million followers across their social media. No wonder they've become the top go-to travel blog for many, and both of them say that travel nowadays begins online.
And we find inspiration on Instagram and Facebook, and then we find deals using a whole lot of applications. Most of it are comparison sites for comparing flights and hotels, and then you have Klook for tours. We also follow a lot of airlines just so we know that when the prices of flights go down, that we'll be able to snag even just a couple of seats.
The good thing about din sa mga apps na na-mention is you can set up price alerts sa mga apps na yun so that they notify you na may piece of fare or sale yung ganitong airlines.
Travel apps aren't just limited to booking flights or easily getting handy travel guides in the palm of your hand. Dozens of the latest travel apps and mobile websites help you get around, find friends, and save money along the way. Some apps allow tourists to hire a local photographer for an instant photo shoot to get those beautiful Insta-worthy pictures you've always wanted. Others automatically translate foreign languages on boards and street signs. Some even connect you to a local who's willing to tour you around the city.
Hi, I'm Patrick from Switzerland. I use Show Around app to get locals showing me around, and I also offer people in Zurich to show them around. Once you open the app, they ask you if you are in Manila right now, then can you play yes or no. Then you have lots of profiles, so we have lots of guides.
Yeah.
Right
so
now.
These guides, some will charge, some have a fee, some do not.
Exactly.
And you choose based on a profile.
Exactly. Some of them will tell you, I'll tell you about the history, which is very interesting, and some offer going out to clubs and nightlife.
The way people travel has definitely changed because of technology. It's easier to do certain things, but for some, it may be even more complicated with a deluge of information and digital tools to filter through. Best to get tips for being a smart and responsible Digipinoy traveler from those in the know, like the country's top travel bloggers Yosh and Vince and Anton Diaz of Our Awesome Planet, as well as the Department of Tourism. Their biggest warning, online scams.
Based on the data we have collated, a lot of the people that arrive here in the country are doing it online, either through a app or a mobile app. But we want to make sure that you book with the accredited.
With the increase of digital, there'll be really a lot of scam also. You have to rely on the actual websites. If it's not HTTPS, don't buy or give your content to those websites. Other thing, we don't usually use public Wi-Fi because it's really easy to get your information also from there.
Do not just rely on Facebook ads. Because if there's an ad that would say, buy this package, it's very, very cheap to Hong Kong for 3 nights, 4 days for 5,000 pesos, do not believe it. If it's too good to be true, do not believe it.
That's why we've always advocated research before travel. It's not just because of getting to know the culture. It's good, yeah, that's one of the reasons, but also because of your own safety.
With research comes discovering the best apps, and travel bloggers have their favorites.
TripAdvisor for recommendations, Google Translate, Google Maps for navigation, Waze when we're on a road trip, and I have this favorite app. It's Google Sky Map on Android, but it's Go Sky Watch on iOS. It can get boring sometimes, especially at night. For example, if you're on a camping trip, I always like watching the stars.
We never imagined decades ago that we'd have all these cool tools at our fingertips. The digital revolution is just at its infancy, and it's barely scratched the surface of what's to come. With the creation of more apps, we can expect more unique ways to experience destinations and share our travels. Our Digital Passport series so far has shown how increasing access to information online and other digital tools allow us to customize our own travel experiences like never before. What exciting prospects lie ahead for travel as the digital world evolves? The travel industry is rapidly changing with the growth of the internet and the emergence of a whole new trend of millennial travel. Anton Diaz of Our Awesome Planet believes Filipino millennials will be making an even bigger mark in the travel scene.
In the future, the Filipinos will dominate the food and lifestyle scene.
Really? Why?
We're only 2 countries in the world that are very young. Our average age is 24. The other one is
Indonesia.
The millennials are getting older. At the same time, they're earning more money.
32-year-old Yoshke Dimen, half of the duo behind the Poor Traveler blog, is excited about the increasing options brought about by the digital revolution.
The buzzword for the past few years is the democratization of travel, giving people the power to provide services and seek services without going through the traditional channels. I think what's in the future of travel is more of having even more options and appealing to more demographics.
Online travel agencies and travel booking sites providing a wide range of options have given traditional agencies a run for their money. With millennials like Yosh having more spending power and making up a big chunk of the traveling population, travel agents must offer the highest service standards to win over these young customers. But one thing remains irreplaceable with traditional agencies: the human agent.
It's different when you talk to a travel agent. It's very personal. Any problems that you encounter during your travel, if you book online, you cannot call online, and complain to the computer.
Immediate customer service.
Precisely.
Yung competition nandyan yan eh. But we believe that we can do better.
So, mas malaking competition ngayon.
Competition is challenging. Look at it positively. In any industry, there's always competition.
Yeah.
For us, we look at it as a challenge for you to do better and aim for higher goals.
Digital tools like social media are a big help to travel agencies in facilitating travel arrangements with clients.
With the Facebook now, you can talk through Messenger and then Viber messages and Viber.
So no need for people to go to the travel agency.
Normally, what we do is get their flight requirements or their travel requirements, and then we book, we call them, and then confirm through telephone, and then they will just deposit the payment, and then we'll just email the ticket and the vouchers.
Though they usually plan and book their trips on their own, Yosh says they still rely on travel agencies for some aspects of travel.
It's not always like DIY all the time. For example, Japan visa is impossible to do without the help of a travel agency. You have to course it through a travel agency. UAE visa also is best done through a travel agency.
But the future of travel will surely include more mobile travel apps that will make travel experiences even more personalized.
So, Makotana is a Kapampangan word. It means tara na sa Tagalog, or sa English, let's go. Last year yon, nagkukwentuhan kami ng kapatid ko. Tapos, we're sharing the same problem na parang, bakit hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin isang site na magbibigay sa atin ng easy access information saan pupunta. Kasi we want to go to Bataan or Zambales sana. Naghahanap kami ng specific beach. Pero instead na beach yung mahanap namin, yung laging sinishow ng results are mga resort. Hindi naman yun yung priority kasi nga, wala pa kami idea saan kami pupunta. So, sabi namin, sige, let's try na lang to come up with a solution.
Rachel, Makotana is a curated list of Philippine destinations. Ano yung criteria nyo for choosing the destinations?
First, it has to be local. Kung pinupuntahan siya ng mga local and at the same time it's unique to the culture place. And then number two, hindi siya sobrang business type na establishment.
So sa ngayon, how many destinations are covered by Makotana?
Right now, we have 5,000 plus destinations.
So you can search by town, province. Tapos ano ba yung pagkakaiba? Kunwari, ba't ako pupunta dito instead of, say, another Philippine website?
Kung gusto mo kasi magkaroon ng full overview, for example, let's go to my yung province ko. For example, Pampanga. Search ka lang. You can see kung for example, ano ba yung museum sa Pampanga? You can also filter by cities or towns, and ito makikita mo ano ba yung mga normally pwedeng gawin doon. If you want to plan for your trip, meron kaming mga tinatawag naming collections. Very common naman na mga tao nag-share ng mga itineraries nila. Instead na gumawa ka ng sarili mo and sa parehas naman pala kayo ng taste. Diba? So, you can copy yung collection. Now, if you go to your dashboard, tapos punta ka sa collections mo, meron ka ng sariling connection na you can modify. You can share this with your friends, you can invite your friends, and then makikita na niya yung details. So, hindi na siya magtatanong sa'yo at mangungulit.
And this is just by email? So you
this is
invite
just
them
by email, yes. Pwede mo rin silang i-remind, oy, next week na, Wednesday ang travel natin, etong oras, ganon.
To keep up with the fast-changing times, travel bloggers have to up the ante to give audiences what they want.
We are expanding our channels na. Kasi dati written, ngayon we are also in for the videos. Gumagawa kami ng content using different footages na pwede namin ma-spread out.
A lot of it is because of technology also. Before, we would really focus on articles, written articles, because most people don't have access to fast internet. So when you do videos, it's gonna take a long time to load. So you're gonna lose potential followers. But now, like, connection is much faster than before, and more people are on mobile. When we started out, 10% of our readers are on mobile. But now, like 70% of our readers are on mobile. You see the shift from desktop to mobile, and you also see the demographics. Before, we would be talking to 28 to 45-year-old professionals, but now we get messages from 16-year-old barkada, and they want to go somewhere. So that's technology, and the other one is the business atmosphere. Airfare is much cheaper now.
Anton's Our Awesome Planet content also continues to evolve alongside its business potential.
We're doing more vlog series for our YouTube channel because more and more people would like the personality behind the brand, so that wala rin fake news, ganon. And then at the same time, we're launching an e-commerce website for my wife na Mrs. Awesome Planet. For all, kasi there are some people who like to, when we go to that destination, yung papabili, ganon, mga unique products in those countries.
You kind of curate it.
Yeah,
you find
it's a
it and you
curated,
offer it.
offer it.
Anton summarizes the future of travel, inspired by a presentation at the 2018 International Gastronomy Congress, Madrid Fusion.
There was this guy who talked about Restaurant 4.0. Sabi niya, you know, restaurants in the future won't have a wooden door. It's a digital door. The experience starts with booking the restaurant, the actual experience, and after it. And then he said the diners in the future don't eat only with spoon and fork, they eat with spoon, fork, and mobile phone. And then the third one was, you know, cash tips are okay, but the best one in this generation is digital tips. Every time somebody takes a picture, mention it, that's the best
promo,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, kasi that's the only way they'll go to your place.
And that's our world today. That's so
our
true.
world, yeah. It's just starting.
From virtual reality tours to drone photography, new technology is continuing to reshape the way we move around, stay and play where we're on vacation, and share those experiences. Wherever you go, whatever you do, be sure to be a smart, responsible Digipinoy traveler.